Do you know what a ziggurat is? There aren't many people nowadays who could answer this question positively, so I present to you the eighth wonder of the world, ziggurat of annekkipu, with a glorious Milo sweet tea bottle cap on top. I was very proud, so I needed to share with y'all, but let's move on to my story. I don't remember my childhood too well. These distant, blurry memories feel foreign, like I was never that kid just watched a movie about her. If you walk outside the apartment building, there is a playground with a big tree. A bit further is my kindergarten. I don't go there often. If you walk down the road, you'll see the grocery store, the bridge over a strangely stinky river, and the boulevard where they set up a giant book market on the weekends. And at the very end of the boulevard, there are big metal gates. I don't know what's behind them to this day, but right next to them is the entrance to the most magical and enigmatic place I know.
Open sesame!
The VHS rental. To clarify, when I was a kid, DVDs already existed and were prevalent in the Western world. But in that small town where I lived, VHS cassettes were peak technology. Anyways, back to my story. Usually, I would ask my mom to get me one of three: Barbie and the Nutcracker, Barbie and the Swan Lake, or Barbie and the Dragon. I would just rotate these, week after week, month after month, and I had no interest in anything else. That was until I saw it. It looked mysterious and a little spooky. Just from the cover, I felt a sense of nostalgia for some place or time I've never seen before. I looked very intensely at the box, deciphering the name of the movie, Metropolis. This was around the time my mom was done talking to the lady who ran the store. She just returned Matrix that I watched with my parents the night before and looked at me. So, the Swan Lake or the Nutcracker? Can we get Metropolis? What is Metropolis? I pointed at the box. Do you think it's a good movie to watch with her? My mom asked the lady. Immediately, I felt like everything was ruined. How old is she? 4? Oh no, you definitely don't want to show her that at this age. I sighed. The Swan Lake then. On our way back home, I asked my mom why she couldn't just tell her I'm 6. Mom said she didn't think about it. I wondered if she'd still remember us if we tried to trick her next time. My mother replied that she also thinks I shouldn't watch it. The mysterious forbidden fruit haunted me. I started having dreams about subways, and I've never seen a subway at the age of 4. I think it was an incorrectly translated movie description that made me think it took place on the subway in the first place. Every time we'd go to the rental store, I kept staring at the VHS box, trying to engrave more details in my brain, to deduct what was inside. And then we moved to a big city. I did not forget about Metropolis, but I was cut off from my sole source of information about it, which was the VHS box. A few years after, my parents let me use the internet, and I was able to find a Wikipedia page about this movie, although it was not too informative. At that point in my life, I decided I don't want to know what it was about. The fruit was right there, at the hand's reach, but somehow it felt more promising to keep it on the tree. I wanted to keep it my fantasy, a mystery I consciously chose to leave unsolved, so that I will always have a beacon. I have yet to learn what Metropolis is about. It's been like 2 decades. I was starting to feel that if I won't find out any sooner, I might leave this world having not figured out possibly the only puzzle that has a definite solution, the one I created myself. And so, I watched Metropolis.
I can
Bro, my mom and that lady, they were right. This movie is intense, and as a 4-year-old child, I would have definitely been traumatized. Although my dad did show me Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind when I was 6, but perhaps these 2 years made a difference. I digress. I watched Metropolis, I ate the fruit, and let me say, life is worth so much more when you know what it is. Were these lines in the Bible? I don't want to spoil it for anyone, even though the movie is pretty straightforward, but the cinematography of the animation, the gentle and intelligent humor, the characters. I know it's based on a 1949 manga, which is based on a 1927 movie that is considered an epoch in cinematography, but they are all different. And the characters in this movie, they're brave and kind and deeply broken and blind in their anger. And what I found very unique and creative is how, even though robots are portrayed with empathy, Tima is the main character, and she's not at the same time. It's the story about humanity and what it is to be a human. And I could have told you more, but this video is not a Metropolis review. I don't remember my childhood too well, but I know that there was a lot of loneliness and melancholy. Yet tomorrow always seemed inevitable, just like I always saved the tastiest part of each meal for the last bite, trying to quickly swallow the bits that seemed unappetizing. I learned to save everything else for some imaginary time in the future, where life would feel safe and happy. And I want to tell you, you shouldn't delay living while you're still alive, but I can't, because I know I couldn't. I will say that if you give yourself the gift of time, life changes. It changed for me, sometimes for better, sometimes for worse. Sometimes tomorrow felt more like a possibility. This video is not a review of Metropolis. It's me saying, do something you want to do. Sometimes life may seem like a burden, but in the end of the day comes the dawn, and each dawn is a little death. You only had one chance to live this day, and it is over. But tomorrow you can try again, if you dare.